This man, Zbigniew Brzezinski, was speaking before the British Council on Foreign Relations, and he was telling this group of elite called the Illuminati, we have lost control of the masses of the people. Listen to what he said. He said, for the first time in human history, almost all of humanity is politically activated, politically conscious, and politically interactive. There are only a few pockets of humanity left in the remotest corners of the world that are not politically alert and engaged with the political turmoil and stirrings that are so widespread today around the earth. They're upset because Satan is losing control. Listen to what he said. In earlier times, it was easier to control 1 million people than physically to kill 1 million people. He said, today, it is infinitely easier to kill 1 million people than to control 1 million people. It is easier to kill than to control. So what are they saying? They are planning the death of billions of human beings on our planet, through the food, through the water, through the air, through disease. You have never thought that you would see the time that famine would be in America. But my beloved brothers and sisters, it is written in the scriptures that one day, you will look at your little fat babies with the thought of eating them. Stop for a moment. The trouble that's going on in Libya, in the Middle East, and now they're saying the price of oil is going up. By the way, Brother Baghdadi, you wrote a beautiful article that will be in the paper. Oh, I have a message for President Obama. Just hang on till I give him his assignment. You say, well, wait a minute. What kind of arrogance is that? Look, I wasn't voted into my office. So, damn, if you didn't vote me in, you sure don't have no power to take me out. Now I want to ask you a question. How many of you in this audience would not mind being rejected of men? Who among you would not mind being hated and then rejoice about it? Who among you wouldn't mind being evil spoken of? And who among you would be willing to be cast into prison? And who among you is willing to give your life to see the people saved and free? I raise my hand to all of this. And I'm not just raising my hand. I have proved this to you. The things that I say and the things that I do, some of you are even afraid to think about it. You Negroes. We put out the book, Secret Relationship Between Blacks and Jews. I sent it to every black leader, members of Congress, white leaders. I sent it to Obama. I sent it to his chief of staff. Rahm Emanuel. I sent it to Ben Bernanke. He sent it back. I sent it to Timothy Geithner, Larry Summers. I sent it to Abe Foxman and all the presidents of the Jewish organizations. And I wrote a letter to Foxman. And sent a copy of that letter to the president and to everybody that received the book. A couple of black college presidents wrote me, very short letter, but it was nice. We received the book, thank you. The rest of these people didn't even have the decency to say thank you for the book. It's not a little lightweight book. It's 400 and some pages. Scholarship that they can't refute. I just told the Negro leaders, stand down. See, I know you. You are always a lawyer for the defense of your enemy. But we put a case out there that you can't defend, lawyers. That's right. That's right. That's right. How many of you have heard of the Holocaust? Raise your hand. How many of you have in school learned about the Holocaust? Raise your hand. Thank you. How many of you have seen on television movies about what happened to the Jewish people under Hitler and the Third Reich? Raise your hand. What about you? Here's a book that should be in every classroom. Here's a book that should be in every college. Here's a book that should inspire dialogue, because most white people don't know what happened to us. They just see a crazy acting people. But you know what happened to them. Why shouldn't you and they know what happened to us and what some of them did to put us in this condition? So we are going to force it. You want Black History Month. Well, hell, what do you know about your history? If you don't know this, you are weak. And let me tell you something, black leaders. Let me drink some water first. Not yet. Listen. You know, we have to force the truth into our own schools. Black schools and white schools need to know what happened to black people. That's right. I missed something in the lecture. You know, this country was made of 6 European nations. Did you know that? I know you think it's you. But it was the British, the Dutch, the Italians, the Germans, the Irish, and one more. Who? I think it was France. Now listen, these were 6 European nations, And when they crafted the seal of America, the first drawings of the seal, they had these 6 nations with all of the 13 colonies around it, a woman holding a scale and another woman holding something that looks like a spear. There it is. See it? And then you see it, out of many, one. E pluribus unum. Did you think that you was the many that was going to be made into one? See, this is a piece of fat back that never melted in the pot. My Hispanic brothers, you think it's talking about you? You gonna be one? My Asian family, you think it's talking about you? Come on. I don't think so. My Native American family, not you either. This was for white people. Man, I wish I could have read what the original framers of the Declaration of Independence wrote about King George and what he was doing to the African and how terrible George was. Now remember, this is talking about Freemasons that are fighting the king. But we were such a delightful group of slaves till even though they were beating up George and they put it in the seal and then they never printed it because the seal seals their doom. On the back of that seal, put it up, brother, put it up. Not that one, the back side of it. Not that one. Not that one. Thank you. That one. See there? You got Pharaoh sitting in a chariot with a sword in his hand. You got the parting of the waters, and you've got a wheel-like thing above the head of Moses, and a light coming down on Moses, and Moses is parting the sea that's going to kill Pharaoh. Now they had this on the back of the original seal of America, and then they said, no, we ain't putting that out because that's going to condemn us for sure. So don't you think that the founding fathers did not know that one day they were going to have to pay for what they've done and continue to do to us? Now,